As a Soviet-born Jew whose family members have been killed and displaced by the war, I can't imagine any reasonable person making the argument that these murders should be prosecuted irrespective of how long it takes, right? I wonder if you've ever been confronted with the argument that going after these folks as they get into their 90s, sometimes beyond, perhaps misuses government resources, perhaps doesn't serve justice. Have you ever had those arguments brought before you? And if so, how do you respond to them?
Yeah, routinely. Absolutely, Dmitry. I've certainly heard those arguments. And I guess I think one of the things we need to distinguish is I think we do need to distinguish between, let's say, trying someone, convicting them, and the level of punishment that they deserve. And to my mind, I think it's appropriate to try people even decades after participating, basically as being, in a sense, foot soldiers in genocide. It doesn't strike me that there should be any statute of limitations that applies to acts of genocide. We don't have statute of limitations applying to simple murder in this country, so it doesn't seem like if you're basically an accessory to the killing of basically hundreds of thousands of defenseless citizens, I don't see why you should be the beneficiary of some type of misplaced notion that, well, so much time has passed. What's the point of trying you? That said, I do think there's a question about, throwing someone who's, let's say, 92 years old in jail for 10 years or something like that. So I think in some sense, the most important thing is to have the symbolic statement of a conviction. And then in terms of the actual prison sentence, I'm not as convinced of the necessity of really seeing these people put in prison. But I do think it is important to make that symbolic statement that no matter how long it takes, the wheels of justice should turn to make sure that these perpetrators or accessories of genocide are ultimately brought to justice. In the case of someone like a Demjanjuk, I think he, felt sorry for himself simply because. There were a lot of, and it is true, there were a lot of people who had a much more aggressive role in Nazi genocide who escaped trial altogether. But again, I think we can say that, maybe on some level, Demjanjuk could imagine himself as unlucky, but I don't think you can consider yourself as a victim of any kind of prosecutorial vendetta, because the fact that other people escape punishment does not in any way ameliorate your guilt.